Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's February 24th, edition number 2. Let's do an afternoon update here and take a look at the latest. We do have some changes in the forecast since this morning's update, and you can see that we are dealing with our mature mid-latitude cyclones, probably somewhere around 975 millibars. Just an absolute monster off the coastline here, spreading some showers with thunderstorm activity across the region, some heavy rain, some snow across the mountains, and it's going to bring some stronger winds across the region as we go through the night tonight. We'll dive into all those details here in a moment. Look at this line of thunderstorms, folks, moving across the central Oregon coast. The coastline is getting some lightning strikes. Some of the foothills there looks like Willamette Valley, and some of that may be moving up into western Washington as we go through this evening, and for portions of eastern Washington and Oregon. And this segment here is probably going to be packing a punch with some strong winds across eastern Washington, eastern Oregon. Heads up for that when you see the skies start to darken there and the wind pick up. Might get some blowing dust as well. And look at this storm system, just ridiculous looking. It looks like a cinnamon bun out here, just spinning, almost an eye to it. And there's a lot of lightning associated with that storm. Now, an update that has been new here since this morning's update was that we have a high wind warning that does affect Seattle, Tacoma, and the Olympia metro. So yes, you heard that right. Gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour are possible. And if we take a look at that, it goes through 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Again, 50 to 60. On the coast, it's 55 to 65. And you may get some isolated gusts up to 70 miles per hour for some locations. And we take a look here, I wanted to point out some of the balmy temperatures out there. Looks like Seattle the last hour is only at 50, but look at Portland, 57. Look at Salem, 61 degrees in advance of this mid-latitude cyclone. Some balmy temperatures out there. Look at Pendleton, 68 degrees. Walla Walla, 62. So you'll probably definitely feel the warmth there. And by the way, all these orange boxes are high wind warnings, and we've got winter storm warnings. This is a box for convection. This is aviation related there, something I deal with on my day job there for Alaska Airlines when I forecast for Alaska Airlines all across the USA and North America. Now, taking a look here. This is Spokane National Weather Service. We got flood warnings, advisories. You can check out the National Weather Service page if you need to know these individual details. We got winter weather advisories. We got avalanche warnings as well. And again, wind advisories for some areas have been expanded to include Ritzville and back up almost including Wenatchee, just off to the east of Moses Lake. And for Pendleton as well, gust to 65. There's some high wind warnings, some wind advisories out there also. But most areas probably 45 to 55 miles per hour. And the SPC, the Severe Prediction Center, the Storm Prediction Center, has picked up on that severe threat. And this is a wind-driven threat there, but it would be accompanied by some potential lightning, blowing dust as well, and some gusts up over 58 miles per hour. 58 miles per hour is the cutoff for a severe wind gust. Now, looking at Portland National Weather Service, again, some strong winds, probably in the mid and upper 40s for many areas, much stronger on the coast, 50, 60 miles per hour down trees and branches. And again, this goes on through 4 a.m. Tuesday morning. Now, this has cost people their lives already this year. So if you're going to the coastline, take a buddy with you, know what you're doing, give the ocean a wide berth. 27 to 32 foot breakers out there, crazy stuff, surges over jetties, rocks into normally dry areas, and it can swoop you back down into the sea, or it can just drag you across the rocks and knock you unconscious. It happens every single year, so be careful. Now, if we take a look at the timing on those waves, we're not at peak just yet, but as we go through tonight, you can really see these waves slam into the Oregon, Washington coast up towards Vancouver Island. So in through tomorrow morning, the waves are going to be pretty gnarly out there. Then we get kind of a break here as we go through the midweek period, and we'll wait to see what comes after that. Now, if we take a look here, this is the European. I'm going to go all the way back towards yesterday because I want to go to the past. At 999, you need to drop about approximately 22 millibars at this latitude here to get a bomb cyclone in a 24-hour period. And if I put that into motion, 99 to 75, that's 24 millibars. We could consider this and classify it as an official bomb cyclone. Looks like it did reach that criteria. So kind of interesting there. But again, it's just a descriptor of how fast a system drops in pressure. It doesn't mean anything else per se. And then as we scroll on in through the 18Z run, this is hot off the presses. Have not looked at this yet, but you see that very tight pressure gradient for the coastal areas. And this sets up for some of the Puget Sound, Willamette Valley as well. And that's why the high wind warning is in effect as we go through tomorrow morning. Now, the North American model, this is the same map, but just a much closer in view. And you can again see this low pressure. It sets up, it starts to stack this gradient across western Washington. Perhaps 12 millibar gradient between Seattle and Portland could support those 50 plus mile per hour gusts up across some of the southern Puget Sound, including Olympia down towards Centralia, and mid 40s, maybe up towards 50 for some of the Willamette Valley, and much stronger winds on the coastal areas. And also simulated infrared satellite there. This is kind of interesting. This is what the high resolution rapid refresh forecasts this to look like. So you can see the cinnamon bun spinning off our coastline, then moving across the region. Again, the strongest winds probably starting late tonight and on in through tomorrow morning, for example, for the Seattle metro and a lot of western Washington, and continuing to be quite windy through tomorrow morning. Now, we take a look at the latest North American model. I scrolled out here, and I'm going to take a couple miles per hour off these speeds because they're probably overdone a little bit, but we better hope that they are, because 60, 61 for Tacoma and Olympia and 56 for Seattle, that would be pretty damaging wind gusts. That would be some widespread damage from that. If you can back these down and keep them in the low 50s, we'll still have some damage out there and probably some trees uprooted in the saturated soils, but it will not be quite as bad if it were 55 to 60 miles per hour. There's a big difference between those two wind gusts. This is the herd, the 18Z. You can see there's some mid-50s hanging around out there. Another big gust for Everett, maybe later tonight, tomorrow morning. And again, you just got to prepare for the worst here. Hopefully these wind speeds don't come in this strong, but you can't just be going out there telling people that winds are only going to be gusting 30, 40 miles per hour when you see the model showing that. So that is not responsible forecasting here. So taking a look at 850 millibars, you want to hit that magic number of about 45 to 65 knots, about 5,000 feet, to really give you the chance to mix down some of those stronger gusts. And we have that across western Washington. So again, you're talking about 68 knots sustained just above Tacoma, for example, in this instance, all the way down through western Oregon. So yeah, there's a pretty strong low pressure system parked off our coastline here. And the pilot's trying to land at SeaTac, and there's no doubt going to be go-arounds and whatnot for Portland and Seattle and Everett and Bellingham tonight. So all kinds of crazy weather. Expect delays if you are flying out tonight, or if you are flying into SeaTac tonight as well. Same thing for Spokane, for example. Now, this is the European. Let me update this. I'm going to just go ahead and update this really quick. We'll take a look at the 18Z. It's still showing 52 for Seattle, 55 for Everett. Those are pretty substantial gusts that would do some tree damage and do some localized power outages, no doubt. Now, taking a look at Tillamook, this is the ensemble. So you can see the ensemble mean is around 60 miles an hour, but it's got really good ensemble agreement, of course, this late stage of the game. But then look at this. We do calm down as we go through the end of the upcoming week there. So hold on for this last storm, and we do get a break, and then we'll see what's to come after that later. Looking at composite reflectivity, again, you can't rule out a lightning strike or two out there. And again, you saw that pretty interesting line. Let's see if her picked this up at all. It didn't show it too much. Maybe it's that right there, but you could get a lightning strike or two out there. This one would be kicking up the wind for eastern Washington and eastern Oregon. This one right there. There could be some lightning strikes associated with that. And then as we go through tonight, again, additional rounds of some pretty heavy rainfall for some areas. And you can see the mid-latitude cyclone right off our coastline there about 11 p.m. And just going to scroll through this fairly quick. You can see for the lightning potential on the high resolution rapid refresh as we go through tonight, it would be about 6, 7, 8. And it looks like the lightning potential will end as we go on in through the night tonight. So the Storm Prediction Center has picked up on this wind threat, Spokane down through Pendleton. And a severe wind gust is classified as 58 knots or greater to be a severe wind gust. So that is what they're saying there. Notice there's no hail or tornado threat associated with that. And this is just a general thunderstorm risk, which does include Missoula and often through Eugene, Portland, and Seattle today. Day one excessive rainfall outlook. We looked at that this morning as well. I don't have to tell you guys how wet it's been here recently. We got another couple slugs of rain moving in as we go through tonight into tomorrow morning. 6 to 10 day near normal, kind of a mixed bag, and same thing with precipitation. If you want to check out this weather station, click on that link down below. It's got a lightning detection system. How can you beat that? Great smartphone app. Help support the channel. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. Much thanks to all of you guys who have bought those. I've gotten a lot of emails and a lot of comments on how much people are enjoying this. I've got 2 of these set up on my house. One of them yesterday picked up 55 miles per hour, and it did get pretty windy, and it seemed like my other anemometer missed it, so I'll never know for sure, but it was pretty interesting to see the tempest at 55 miles per hour yesterday in a gust, so that was kind of fun stuff. But yeah, you just got to marvel at the meteorological beauty of this storm moving up the coastline there. I mean, what a picture perfect storm. Remember this when summertime rolls around and we're dying for even a drop of rainfall across the region, and we can, look back at these days with fondness and just kind of remember the cool showery weather here that was the late winter storm of February 2025. But yeah, anyway, I'll get this video out here. I may go live at some point tonight. I haven't decided if I'm going to go out to Seattle or whatnot and watch the winds and just kind of film people out and about in the windy conditions tonight. Have to be kind of a late night because it's probably not going to start till 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning, but we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, hope you guys are having a good day. Stay safe out there. Click like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.